Representative Savick, thank you for joining us today and letting us interview you.
Thank you for the interview.
What do you do for a professional career, and can you share a little bit about your life outside the Capitol?
I'm a state representative. I retired quite a while ago and decided I didn't like retirement, so I decided to run for the state legislature. I was in the computer industry for, maybe 28 years, I think. What do I do outside of? I have a little dog, little poodle, that is just about 20 pounds. And then I have friends, and I also am a painter. I paint watercolors and other oils, and so I'm kind of a frustrated artist.
Can you describe the district you represent and tell us what your constituents care about?
Okay, the district is by the Iowa border. It includes part of Faribault County, where I happen to live, just Wells, Keister, and Walters, that area. Most of Freeborn County. It includes the town of Blooming Prairie in Steele County, and then two townships in Dodge County, which Hayfield is one of those. So, and what do my constituents want? Well, I think the greatest thing that they need is jobs. So the economic environment, building up the economy in the greater Minnesota is really critical, because we're losing a lot of our younger people to the metropolitan area, and they're just not good jobs there for them to, for a lot of people to stay in the area. I think that's probably the #1 issue. The other issues are roads. A lot of the county roads are getting really bad, and the townships don't have enough money to maintain them the way they should be. Education is very important too. They want to make sure that their children are educated appropriately so that they can get good paying jobs when they are out of school.
What do you see as the biggest challenge the state will face in the next 10 years?
Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay. One of them is firefighting. Volunteer firefighters. We are about 45 in all the states with our cost of fighting fires. And the population, especially in greater Minnesota, is aging. And it's getting very, very difficult to get firefighters now, because the younger people, a lot of the schools have closed, so they have to take their children to school that's not in their community anymore. They have to work 20 or 30 miles or 40 miles away from their home. And the people, it's just very difficult to get younger people to volunteer for EMTs, volunteer firefighters, this type of thing. And I think the state really, I've been trying to get some of the legislators to look at that seriously. And it's just like they don't want to hear it, because right now I would estimate that having volunteer firefighters, volunteer EMTs is saving the state or the taxpayers about $2 billion a year. So if we have to go to career, it's going to cost a lot of money, and a lot of the communities can't afford that. So what are we going to do? And that is a really big issue. And there's other infrastructure that we need on too, is roads, transportation. I hear a lot of my representatives up here say that young people don't want cars anymore. They'll take the transits. Well, they're not talking about greater Minnesota, because if you don't have a car in greater Minnesota, you don't go anywhere. You can't get a job, because there is no public or very little public transportation. So we really need better roads in greater Minnesota.
What area or areas of legislation do you feel like you are best equipped to work on?
Well, I worked for technology companies for years, so I understand technology. I'm out of date as far as the technology, but I understand the basics. I know what technology can do. I also worked in business for a long time, and I think that I'm a good business manager. Areas like that, what is the best? I'm also working on a bill to help senior citizens when they have a loved one in a nursing home. there's a lot of different issues. It's amazing to me how many different issues there is to work on, and it's very hard to set priorities because all of them are critical issues.
What are your hidden talents or hobbies?
Oh, I am an artist. I paint acrylics, and I paint watercolors, and I paint oils. I'm not much of a housekeeper, okay? I never have been. And I think I'm a good business person. I'm also very assertive, so I don't know if that's a talent or just a characteristic of my personality, but I'm not afraid of anything. I guess that's a good characteristic to have. If I need to fight for something, I will go in there with both fists up and fight for it. So.